Welcome back. This go around, we're going to take a look at a very controversial game for the Neo Geo, and that game is Samurai Shodown 3. It is rated at 282 megs, and came out in 1995. And it's a huge departure from the previous games as far as gameplay, graphics, sound. Some good, some bad, some additions, some deletions. Like I said, it's controversial because a lot of the changes were not for the better and created a lot of issues. Whereas the appearance of the game appeared rushed. Alright, so let's just get into it. Alright, game option. Alright, the focus of the game goes from a 4-button setup, because the previous games had a 6-button setup, the way they accomplished hard attacks. Here you have air blocking, you have where you can dodge around your character, you can charge up your meter, some really neat aspects to the game. You choose one of the newer characters, Shizumaru. Slash boss, the only difference is the, what do you call that, their techniques as far as their special attacks. But it's supposed to be their good evil version, which I don't understand. There's evil characters in here, so I don't get that. You can be more evil, I don't know. But it just changes up their attacks. And the other ones were just the gameplay, whether you can be expert as far as not blocking, your normal game where you do your regular blocking, and the beginners where you actually, what do you call it, the computer blocks for you. Alright. As you see, I've chosen one of the new ones. If you're not, if you are familiar with the series, if you're not, this is one of the newer characters, Shizumaru, who is, I consider, probably one of the most overpowered characters in the game. You have a lot of missing characters in here. Ganon, Earthquake, Jubei, Chom Chom, Tom Tom, and it's unfortunate because not all the characters, the new characters, are worth it. Especially Nakaru's sister, which is basically a variation of Nakaru minus, you know, certain attacks, but she plays more like Sub-Zero, which to me is absolutely ridiculous. So, you have new characters. Some are really unbalanced, like the one I'm playing right now. Because of his weapon has a lot of range to it. And it's cheap as shit. The graphics, as you can see, are completely new. They're at least 50% larger than the previous installments, at least. They're drawn with more of a graphic novel anime type aesthetic. Previous ones were more cartoony, and which is cool because it gives something different to this series, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Music sounds are not bad. They don't retain the tunes that were very much classic and actually were pretty recognizable. But they're not bad either. Yeah, they do have some decent tunes, some ambient background effects such as winds and things of that nature. Nothing really that stands out. But the problem with the game lies in its far as its damage. Certain characters are overpowered and can create massive damage with only like maybe a couple hits. That's a problem, so it creates unbalancing in the characters. Next up is hit detection. It's completely fucked. I mean, you could be near the person and still miss hitting them. It is a huge problem, and unfortunately, it almost ruins the game. Like, it doesn't make the game unplayable, but as far as there's two players concerned, it can create a lot of tension, a lot of issues within players. Next up, well, we covered the damage. We've covered the hit detection. So those are your major problems in the game, and besides, of course, the lack of characters. And unfortunately, it's sad because this game was produced in a time where I believe there was a lot of management changes in SNK. It was between 1995, I'd say maybe late 96. It seems a lot of product was rushed. While true, a lot of it they tried to innovate, like King of Fighters 96 and things like that. But it seemed that they were on these strict deadlines and therefore compromised a lot of the quality that SNK was known for. So it took, the next, installment to correct the previous game's issues, or the majority of them, if nothing else. Now, should you check the game out? Sure. In recent years, the game has gotten a better following initially than when it first started out. You can find the game for PS2, the Wii. They came as collections, they're on virtual consoles. This game is everywhere. Difficulty can be a motherfucker. I'm not gonna lie. It can be hard at times. And because of the gameplay and the hit detection issues, it doesn't help it. So, expect the challenge to be there, but unfortunately it won't be one of those challenges of those good challenges that people like. It'd be just some cheap challenges of where you're trying to overcome sometimes a brutal AI and the bugs that occur within the game. But I do suggest you really do check the game out. Even though it's faults, it's not a bad game. I actually like looking at the game's graphics. I think they're great. I like the characters. And the thing is that I think they were in the step in the right direction, but unfortunately, there was just some measures or there wasn't enough time for them to correct. So that kind of screwed it up. But, what are you going to do about it? I mean, they tried to go in a different direction, and I applaud them for taking risks. Like I said, it's something you would have to make a decision on your own, whether you like the game or not. I don't think it's necessarily a bad game. I just think it's got multiple problems, and that's where the game gets destroyed. If you can look past the problems, then it's not a bad game at all. And here's one of the most overpowered. He's a lot of anti-air attacks. Like, so much damage. It's just unreal. It's sad, because the game could have been a lot more. But definitely check the game out. I think it's not a bad game. It just got a lot of issues that, if it would have had more time on the drawing board, it would have been really good. So definitely check it out, and there should be no reason why you can't get a hold of this game, because it is everywhere, like I said. So do yourself a favor, check it out, and see one of the games that led to Samurai Shodown 4, which is actually a really great game. Alright then, so I'm just going to leave you with some tournament play, some a little bit more gameplay, and then I'm out. Alright then, I'm out. Take care. Have a good one.